Out front now, Israeli Major Ben Walhouse. He's the Israel Defense Forces spokesperson. Major, thank you so much for joining us. First of all, what's the latest on the ground right now?
Thank you, Wolf. The situation now is that we have secured the south. We no longer have hundreds of terrorists streaming across the border, trying to kill our civilians. We still have forces that are going house by house, making sure that none of them are left. Hundreds streamed across the border 2 days ago, entered into more than 20 towns and cities. So our forces are still going house by house to make sure that none of them are left. At the same time, as your viewers know, we are undergoing continuous rocket fire into our cities, indiscriminate, and that's the current situation.
So is it true that Israel is now in full control of all of its land at this hour?
Yes, that is correct. We have fortified the border fence on Gaza as well. We have streamed forces down there, and they are working to make sure that the entire south is safe and secure.
Prime Minister Netanyahu, as you well know, said today that the Israeli airstrikes in Gaza, in his words, are only the beginning. Are we looking right now at a ground war here as well?
Well, Hamas's attacks are continuing. The rocket fire is continuous. I'm sitting here in Tel Aviv. At my house in Tel Aviv, my children are continuously going from upstairs down to the basement to the bomb shelter, sirens all throughout Israel. So the IDF is being directed by the government to stop those attacks, and will do what's needed in order to stop those attacks and make sure that Hamas doesn't have the capability to renew them.
So you're clearly leaving open the possibility of a major Israeli ground invasion into Gaza to deal with that.
The IDF has many capabilities, and we're going to deploy them all in order to stop Hamas's ability to keep attacking our civilians.
As you know, Major, Hamas is saying it will start executing the civilian hostages taken from Israel into Gaza and broadcasting it if Israel targets people in Gaza without warning. Will that change Israel's response at all?
Well, that shouldn't surprise anyone. Hamas's war here is a war on civilians. It started with a massacre of women, children, elderly, entire families. They kidnapped tens of families and people and young people, toddlers, elderly women. They're continuously firing rockets at our civilians. And at the same time, they're hiding behind their civilians in Gaza to try and avoid attack from us and cause more civilian casualties. So it's not surprising that they would say something like that. And our priority is to make sure that Hamas cannot carry any of that out and cannot continue attacking us.
Do you believe, Major, that some of the hostages may already be dead?
I don't have the information to give you that now. It's also for operational reasons. But obviously our highest priority is to protect our people at home and also protect those people in Gaza. And that's what our forces are doing in the land, sea, and air.
Major Ben Walhouse, the Israeli Defense Forces spokesperson, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And the war has tragically hit very close to home for my next guest, a man who has been on our network many times over the years, Mark Ginsburg, the former U.S. ambassador to Morocco, former White House advisor on Middle East policy as well. He just announced the death of his nephew, Eli Ginsburg, a lieutenant commander for Israel. Ambassador, thanks so much for joining us. You and I have known each other for many years. We are so sorry for the loss, your loss this evening. What do you know so far about what happened to your nephew?
Eli was a lieutenant commander and a Navy SEAL in Israel, and he had just retired from serving as an operational commander for Mossad 3 weeks ago and was called up to lead his unit into Kibbutz Re'im, where the music festival was taking place, to rescue hostages that were being held by Hamas. And during one of the efforts to break down one of the apartment buildings, he was shot and killed by a Hamas terrorist. I found that out from my sister-in-law this morning. I'm here in Morocco doing earth relief work. So it's been a terrible day for my family and I.
Our hearts go out to you, of course. Give us a little bit more about your nephew, Ambassador. What was he like?
Oh, Eli, he was the oldest of my three nephews who was raised on Kibbutz Mizgavam. My brother Mike had been killed up there in 2006, so Eli had lost his father to Hezbollah in a Hezbollah attack in the war, and uh, he was raised as someone dedicated to Israel's military prowess. I mean, the fact that he became not only a Navy SEAL but also the lieutenant commander for the Navy SEALs, and then trained in the United States at the U.S. Naval Academy, and in order to develop his skills to train Israelis in special command operations. I mean, his work in the last year is pretty secret, Wolf. But for those of us who, and I particularly, was his, I guess, substitute father, we were so proud of him. He leaves a beautiful wife in a kibbutz and 4 children,
Mm.
as well as 2 brothers and my sister-in-law. And we're all mourning. I can't make it, unfortunately, to the funeral tomorrow because the flights are extraordinarily hard. But I'll make it to Israel to be with my family as soon as I can.
And when you do, please pass along our deepest condolences to your family. As you know, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has warned there will be difficult days ahead and that Israel will go on offense against Hamas, in his words, like never before. What do you think that looks like specifically over the next 24 to 48 hours?
Well, I've listened to Wolf. You and I know I've spent an enormous amount of time in Israel as well as in Gaza. I've watched the successive efforts by Israel to try to quell Hamas. But I'll tell you, Wolf, my biggest fear, based on the fact that my family lives up on Kibbutz Mizgavam on the Lebanese border, is that diabolically, given my own view and hatred for Hezbollah and Hamas, it's very conceivable that part of the scheme here, directed by Iran, is to exhaust Israel's supply of Iron Dome missiles because Hezbollah, as you well know, Wolf, and you're an expert on this, if Hamas fired 2,000 to 3,000 missiles at Israel in a matter of 2 days, Hezbollah has 150,000 guided missiles, and no Iron Dome system that Israel currently has and is already badly depleted can withstand that type of attack.
Yeah, it's a serious, very serious situation. As I continue to say, and I hope I'm wrong, this war is only just beginning. Ambassador Mark Ginsburg, our deepest condolences to you and your family. Thank you very much for joining us.